the public that will be voting in this election, this primary, knows very little about you and your three opponents based on the polls. I think anywhere from maybe half or even 3/4 of the people who will be voting really don't know much about what will the defining issue be between you and your opponents.
Well, I hope
in the primary.
My hope is that it's about vision. And it's about jobs, because everything revolves around jobs. Whether you talk about healthcare or immigration or education, all comes back to jobs. What types of future do we want for our particular state? And so then you have to ask yourself, what's our competitive advantage as a state? You look at tourism, right? You look at healthcare. You look at renewable energy. Those are the areas where we have a competitive advantage. Right now, the vision for the state has created a situation, or I would say the lack of vision, where our number one employer, you all know who our number one employer is, right, in the state of Arizona? It's Walmart. That is not an inspiring vision for a future. I don't think that's a sustainable future. And so I think we need leaders who will come to the table, bring other people, leaders from ASU and the U of A, and what should that future look like? Where should we be putting our money and our investments? That's what type of leadership we need. John McCain is walking away from that particular discussion.
The new polling, and Jim has this out on his website at the TucsonWeekly.com, showing that your race, you and your three opponents, that's wide open. My goodness, there's just a few percentage points separating each of the candidates. But I think the glaring number is there is a huge, more than half, undecided in your race.
I am delighted by the recent polling to show that all four candidates are within 4 percentage points with a margin of error of 4.5 points. It's a horse race. We just got into this late. I think we're in a great position to move forward and capture the 2/3 or 3/5 of the voters that are still out there undecided. So I'm very, very excited about this. We've put hardly any money into this at this point. What we're doing is trying to get our message out through the internet, doing media interviews, and speaking plainly about the situation that's facing us, and be willing to answer the questions.
There was a letter to the editor in the Star this morning from someone who was criticizing you in connection with the debates, and said that if you would, as they put it, shy away from a debate with your fellow Democrats, how could you be ready to deal with Washington? I'd like to give you a chance to respond to that whole issue.
There will be plenty of time for debates. My campaign has received requests, and my campaign staff is working with those requests to make sure that we're able to talk to as many Arizonans as possible. I am proud of what we've accomplished already. We have more individual contributors this campaign cycle than any other candidate in the past decades. We have more local elected officials that have stepped up to support my campaign than any other candidate to run for United States Senate against John McCain in the past 2 decades. And I will continue to have a positive dialogue with all Arizonans. And Bill, I would never miss up on an opportunity to be with your viewers and sharing my thoughts on the future of our state, and just as importantly, what John McCain hasn't done for all of us.
But at least in this situation, at least this person, and I imagine there are others, got the impression that you were avoiding that debate. I wanted to give you the chance to directly address this particular situation.
My campaign has received invitations and continues to receive invitations from traditional organizations that operate debates. And we're continuing to look at scheduling those, and you can rest assured that in time those will be occurring, but they're going to be occurring as we move forward.
We're quickly running